누구는 선택받고 누구는
Let me tell you a tale, dear viewer, of a guy who made a game without a publisher and without any budget, and I'm going to tell you exactly how it blew up against all odds. That game is called We're About to Die. It's a gladiator game that I launched about a year ago. It has physics-based directional combat, it's a roguelite, permadeath, it's hardcore, difficult, a little bit weird, a little bit different, and wow, I mean, making this thing completely changed my life. At this point, the game is doo-doo. It is buggy, has bad game feel, it's completely undercooked, and worst of all, nobody cares. But I had some dedicated members in the Discord. Shout out to all 3 of you who gave me some amazing feedback, and they helped me find bugs to fix and improve the game overall. I decided to make a demo, so I went into overdrive to finish it in time. I also collected over 1,000 emails of YouTubers and journalists, and I asked them all to play my demo. Dear everyone, please look at my game, thanks. No one replied. But there was good news. My demo was being played by some people on Steam, and my numbers went from abysmal to bad. All this was preparation for a festival on Steam called Steam Next Fest. You get one chance to appear with your demo and show it to the world. I was nervous. I mean, this was make or break. I started okay. The game was not really visible. It was many pages deep, but I started to get some wish lists on the first day. But then, this happened.
Look at this. Oh, I will destroy anyone in my way.
What's up, guys and gals, and welcome back to the Nerd Castle. Today in the world of indie games, we're going to be checking out the demo for We Who Are About to Die.
You have to understand, this was the first recognition I had ever gotten in years. The next day, I woke up to this. I had been grinding for literal years to get from here to here. That's 7,000 wish lists, and I got 2,100 wish lists in a day, in one day. I can't even express to you how unbelievable this was. Before, I would make a post and it would get 60 wish lists, and I would literally be euphoric. 2,100? Wow. For reference, today, 1 year after launch, the game has 371,000 wish lists. Over the next few days during the festival, the game rose and it came onto the 3rd page and the 2nd page pretty consistently, and on some specific genre filters, it was all the way on the 1st page. It just climbed and climbed. I came in with no momentum and no publisher boosting me, and somehow the game just climbed and climbed and climbed. By the end of Next Fest, I had gone from 7,000 wish lists to 21,000 wish lists. My motivation was just like, pew! I decided to release the game the next winter, but I realized I would need complete full focus in order to be able to get there. There was a lot to do and not a lot of time to do it. I asked my real job, hey, is it cool if I take like a 6-month break? Like it's actually finally happening and it means a lot to me. Also, there's a minuscule, tiny chance that if it goes well, I'll probably quit, by the way.
Yeah, that's fine. Good luck.
So, I got to work.
One eternity later.
Current situation. Let's go through the list. Mentally and physically exhausted, but I don't care. Anxiety levels over 9,000. The game, it's okay. Wishlists 35,000. It kept going strong after Next Fest, and there was another festival that went really well called Tiny Teams. Thank you, Yogscast. And in the meantime, I had carefully planned the launch week and the launch day. Let's look at these two though. Guys, when I say I carefully planned launch week, what I mean is with the psychotic levels of detail that can only be driven by years of sunk cost fallacy and anxiety over this one day. this one chance. I mean, I went and planned every single hour of launch week with a tight schedule well in advance. I mean, I went on SteamDB and I carefully, systematically mapped out every single release of all other games in order to calculate which day would be most optimal for my game to release. And then 1 week later, unexpectedly, a bunch of big games moved their release date on November 15th, including a big roguelite. I realized I'm like a little indie dev solo ant, and my superpower is flexibility, and nobody cared anyway. So I was like, JK lol, the game's coming out on November 14th. Anyway, over the past years, I had been fine-tuning and learning the ins and outs of Steam's inner workings, and I used it to form a plan to maximize my chances. I had this theory that releasing on a Monday is actually not as bad as everyone says. People say it's the worst day, and November 14th happened to be a Monday. It was perfect. But I didn't stop there. I actually went through the popular upcoming list and I systematically recreated the November 14th popular upcoming list, including my game, months in advance using Photoshop. Why? So that I could look at what game is above me, below me, and so on, and maximize my capsule, the art that people see on Steam, for contrast and color in order for it to stand out the most. And I actually pushed my release date by minutes in order to move up and down this list. This is just normal stuff. Status, Fallout cool.
Hey, smooth skin.
Here it is, the final week, the one that I had been planning for God knows how long. I was adding major changes to the game all the way up to launch day, but other than that, most things were carefully planned, like I said, so I was just executing one by one each of these tasks. I made post after post after post everywhere I'd planned at the exact minute, and everything went viral. After years of marketing and failure after failure, on launch week, just when it needed to, everything went right. Things blew up left and right. I mean, I got more views in a week than I had had in literally years. I had one of the largest indie game dev posts on 9gag ever. I'd been building a little community there, and around launch, it just blew up. It just blew up. Even my TikTok post blew up, a platform that I wasn't even on. By Thursday, my game had hit popular upcoming. Here it is, on the front page of Steam, just like planned, for real. Remember when I said that I had a theory on why Mondays aren't so bad after all? Let me explain. Early access games get to go on popular upcoming, but they don't get to go on new releases. Most devs don't even know this. So when you're an early access release, you really want to be on popular upcoming the longest possible time. It's literally all you have. That's your 15 minutes of fame. The front page of Steam is visited by millions of people, so it's just about being there the longest that you possibly can. So to maximize my time, what I did is I looked for a period of time where there were very few games that had gone beyond the Steam filter, meaning that they get to go on popular upcoming on the front page. I was looking especially for Thursdays and Fridays that were really calm, but also Mondays in general. And that's how I landed on November 14th. You see, the Thursday before, almost no games came out, and Friday was very, very calm compared to a normal Friday. That meant that my game crept up on the list and actually entered the top 10 of popular upcoming Thursday evening after the bulk of Thursday's games released. So all night and evening, Thursday, the game was on the front page. All of Friday, it climbed slowly in the list until it sort of sat where I expected it to for the weekend. Why for the weekend? Because no games come out on the weekend at all on Steam. It's not allowed. Again, something that a lot of devs surprisingly don't know. So Saturday, Sunday, it's locked, right? I get 2 complete free days of exposure. And then Monday, it just slowly gets up to its final position where it sits all day until I hit release, which was 6 p.m. my time. With this plan and all the virality, in the last week before launch, the game went from 35,000 wishlists to 58,000 wishlists. It almost doubled. I couldn't believe my eyes. I'm not even feeling emotions at this point. I'm just on autopilot. I'm a machine. Overworked, tired, and I have one goal in mind, and that is to do everything as carefully and as correct as I had planned. That's it. Launch day is here. 0 sleep. I mean, there was no chance I was sleeping even a minute. I get up in the middle of the night and I start my schedule, minute by minute, hour by hour. My plan was to contact everyone I've ever known, basically, and try to get them to look at the game, to visit, to buy the game, and to potentially even review it. And I just spend all day pulling every string that I can until 6 p.m. The release build is online and ready. And all this virality in the last week had brought a ton of people to Discord. There was already a little community that was very dedicated and active, and the excitement was humbling. It was time.
Dag Jordi. En je nog een paar laatste woordjes voor de release? We zijn nu 3 voor 6.
We were about to die, salute you. So, that's it. After I hit release, I just continue. I purposefully didn't look at my sales because if I don't look, it can't be a flop. Schrodinger's sales. But 5 hours pass and curiosity gets the better of me. I decide to just have a glance. I refresh my page and I see it's not a flop. It is not a flop. In fact, it's better than my best case scenario for the first year in 5 hours. I'm getting goosebumps just reminiscing here. My dream, the whole time I was making this game, was to get 10,000 sales in its lifetime. That was the number that I was focused on the whole time. That's just what I wanted to get while I was developing it. And 24 hours after I hit the launch button, 12,000 people had bought the game. A tsunami of attention hit me. I started getting emails from journalists. People were messaging me through every profile that I've ever made. And I was pretty on point here. I followed the traffic on the Steam page real time. And then if I saw a big spike, I knew that there was either a stream or a YouTube video that just came out. And I would go to that YouTube video and then put a comment there and thank people for playing my game and having a look. And this just continues. And it doesn't slow down. Not for a while. And I quit my job. It took days for any of this to hit me at all. And then it would go away and then it would come back a few days later in waves. It took weeks until I finally had a moment where I cried of happiness for the first time ever. Over the next weeks and months, I had a few more of those moments. And honestly, even a year later now, I'm still very much processing all this stuff. I mean, I can't express to you the craziness that I've experienced in the last year. I'm trying though. All this was like wildly beyond anything that I was dreaming of. And I was dreaming big. I know 10,000 sales doesn't sound like a lot, but in the back of my head, I was always like, maybe this will blow up even more. And so I had some scenarios in mind where it would go like really crazy. And the game did 20x those craziest scenarios. Making a commercial, successful video game had been on my mind since I was like 15 years old. And it took everything to get here. It took dozens of skills. It took years. And I planned my whole life around this thing. We Who Are About to Die was a global top seller. It's a 1% solo dev game. And it's also one of the most successful Belgian video games of all time. It still feels like a dream. There's no way for me to parse that. It's something that, it's an experience that very few people on this planet have experienced. And there hasn't been a day that has gone by in the last year where I didn't wake up and just, realize that. I'm now finally a real game developer, full time. And I probably will be for the rest of my life. In fact, I actually have a game studio now. I'm not alone anymore, which is amazing. So much has happened in the last year. It's felt like a week long and it's felt like 10 years at the same time. I took a really long break. Gotta take care of yourselves, people. I made several updates. I went to GDC and then later to Gamescom. And there I met dozens of amazing developers, and some of which had very similar stories, which was really, really nice. We even released our first major update just a few months ago. The game is in early access and we have some really awesome plans with it. There's too much to tell right now about the last year, let alone the rest of development. But if you'd like to see more videos just like this one, let me know. Put a comment down below on what kind of video you'd like to see most and subscribe to the channel. But most of all, go check out the game. There's a discount going on to celebrate the anniversary, and we also put up an update to go with it. Listen, I couldn't have done any of this without some very important people in my life standing by my side. And thank you. You know who you are. I also couldn't have done this without the community, you. For your support, for your feedback, for your reviews, your bug reports, everything. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. My name is Jordy. We who are about to die salute you. Thank you for watching. Peace out. It's 3 a.m. I'm 32 years old. What am I doing? It was fun.